my couch in DC,
living the dream with a cute dog,
day drinking.
as you do. There's snow outside.
There's snow.
After 3. So.
It's after 4.
It's 4:05.
5 o'clock somewhere.
We are. We are on fire. We don't have to talk about when we started drinking, but we are.
No. I'm on vacation with my best friend in DC. It was my birthday present to myself, and I decided we should do a video. So today we're gonna be talking about the most Googled skincare questions.
Which will be really interesting because a lot of these words, I don't even know what they mean. So
we're all gonna learn things. So Chelsea's gonna ask me questions. Oh wait. This is Chelsea.
Oh, hi.
For those of you who do not know,
Hello.
she's been my best friend for 14 years. It's amazing. And this is Baxter. Let's get into it. Chelsea's gonna ask me the most Googled skincare questions. And I'm gonna do my best to answer.
Do your best. You were just on fire. All right, so our first question here, number 1, is how to dermaplane.
Oh gosh. So this apparently has been asked. It was like one of the most asked questions of 2020 because a bunch of people were trying to dermaplane at home.
Stuff.
Lord almighty. So here's the issue with dermaplaning at home. I don't recommend it. Just like so many things at home or like do-it-yourself treatments.
Yeah.
Dermaplaning should be a professional treatment that is done because there's sort of a misconception. A lot of people think of dermaplaning as like just shaving the face, like doing it for the hair removal, right? Like taking a little...
I'm not even sure at the moment. Like dermaplaning is specifically like
Don't.
those dermaplaning is those videos of like the people like it looks like they're like scraping off the top layer of their skin.
Correct. But it shouldn't be like hard. I mean, you shouldn't be like, you know, their skin shouldn't be moving like that.
Okay.
Like you would cut them for sure. But it is, you're using a blade and you are essentially like shaving the face. But if it's done correctly, or like the purpose of it can be to remove not just the hair, like the peach fuzz and stuff, but also kind of exfoliating, right? So actually taking off the top layers of the skin and giving you a little bit of we would call that a manual exfoliation. But again, the thing is, it's just dangerous. Like if you don't know what you're doing or you're using, I mean, you can literally buy professional grade, you know, blades and stuff on Amazon, so that is a little scary. But if you don't know what you're doing, you can hurt yourself.
So basically, it's like don't try this at home. How to dermaplane is don't. Have an esthetician do it.
Go get a facial and have an esthetician dermaplane for you. That's the answer to that question. How to dermaplane at home? Don't.
Okay, second question we have. Oh, that's a good one. How do I build a skincare routine? Do it.
Do it. That's a do.
Yeah.
Well, I would be an esthetician who would say your basic needs to be like cleanser and moisturizer. Like everybody should be using a cleanser and moisturizer no matter what. So that's always like my starting point with people, using the right cleanser and moisturizer. Then from there, you know, you can start to build on it with things like serums or creams or stuff like that, which are more treatment based, like you're dealing with a specific issue, whatever it is. And then things like eye cream, sunscreen, all that stuff. But if you don't have your cleanser and your moisturizer kind of dialed in, you know, then it's like from there, who knows where you're going at that point. So I always start with cleanser and moisturizer to dial those in first and then kind of build from there.
Yeah.
But I mean, knowing how to like build or choose the correct thing, obviously that gets a little more complicated.
Well, I think for like, I don't know, I'm going to pop in here. As a best
Give your
friend
expert
of an
opinion.
esthetician who has put me on all of my makeup and skincare products. Like when I was like a couple years ago that you visited me, and my skin was like in pretty bad shape because I moved away from her. I was in the frozen tundra.
Into a different climate for sure.
And you started me like, you had just started working with like the DBH products, the Dermaesthetics, and the first thing like was exactly what we did. We had the skim milk cleanser, and then the moisturizer, the A&E cream, and then after that it was like, oh, you should. I'm like, exfoliating, you know, so that we did the sex peel, and then after
kind of
that,
build from there.
I wish I had something more hydrating, so we started adding serums.
Serums, right? Or like, oh, at night, or oh, in winter times, I'm feeling this, or right. So it's like, that's why I say starting with cleanser and moisture is just the easiest because, and that's how I always do it with my clients. Unless right off the bat they're like, give me all the things I need. Well, then I might, choose a few more options. But starting there is always a good, good option. You can build from there.
Yeah, that makes sense. What order should you do your skincare?
Okay.
Speaking of serums and
yes, cleanser obviously first. So if you're doing a double cleanse, let's say some people want to do that, you would use like an oil cleanser first, and the reason is because oil attracts oil.
Oh.
Did you know that?
Fun fact.
Learning new things.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What else?
Oil attracts oil. So oil is gonna, like an oil cleanser, is gonna help to attach and adhere to the oils in your skin. Also things like makeup and dirt and all that junk. So it's gonna kind of help release some of those or break it up. And then you can use like an actual cleanser that is more based on your skin type. So, for you, it's a cream cleanser because you have very dry skin. For, some of us, it would be like a foaming cleanser or a gel cleanser, things like that. So, yeah, cleansers first. Then, if you don't want to do a double cleanse, I always recommend like to use a makeup wipe if you're wearing makeup. Use a makeup wipe, get it all off, then cleanse. That's what I do because I don't want to waste my cleanser on like doing 2 cleanses to get all the makeup off. I'm like, let's just use a makeup wipe first, take all that gunk off, and then cleanse. Yeah. Works good too. So that's your option. Then after that, you're gonna move into like serums or creams. Back up. If you're gonna use a toner, which I think there's a question on there at some point about toner, so we'll get into that. But if you're using a toner, toner would be first. Excuse me.
Jeez.
I just
do even know you're
I don't recommend toners a lot for a lot of people depending on what's going on. So if you're using a toner, that's first, like after you cleanse. Spritz. Then you could go in with your eye cream if you want, or you can do serums. It doesn't really matter kind of the order of it. So then serums, you should always go in order of thickness. So something that's a really thin consistency, put that on first. As it gets like thicker or creamier, like build on later. So whatever's stickier, whatever's like a higher viscosity, right? Like a
stickier is first.
No, would be later.
Okay.
Yeah, like if it's thicker, right? It's like that. It's got more going on versus like just a really liquidy thing. Yeah, that's going on first. So yeah, you build upon that. Then you would, let's say, add in, if you're doing creams of some kind, creams would be after that, depending on thickness again. And then you're always going to finish with your moisturizer. So think of it like your moisturizer is sealing everything in, right? That's what I like to say. Yeah. If you're doing sunscreen, if it's during the day, I like to add my sunscreen into my moisturizer, or if they are combined already, then that works too.
So what about, like, so for me, I'll use a water oil with before as like a skin prep kind of thing. So I would do like if it's in the morning, I'm getting ready, like I wash my face, and I put my 2 serums on, my eye cream, and then I'll put my moisturizer on, and then I would do my water oil with or prior to putting my foundation.
Yeah, there's 2 schools of thought about that, really. And I think you could kind of go either way. It's sort of a preference thing. Normally, I would say if you're using a facial oil of some kind, like as a treatment, as like a, hey, I need more moisture in my skin, then I would say to do that before moisturizer. Again, moisturizer, in my opinion, would always be kind of your last step. It's like sealing everything in. And when you're using a facial oil, it's because you need that extra level of moisture, right, in your skin. So it's kind of like that's going on first, and then you're sealing it in with the moisturizer to, like, seal it all off, but it's still giving you those benefits. Now, some estheticians would say, well, if you're using a facial oil, then that's completely like blocking off the moisturizer from getting into your skin. I don't necessarily agree with that, especially because it depends on the kind of facial oil you're using. Like if you're using something that's like, if you're, let's say, putting coconut oil on your face, which you shouldn't do. But if you're doing that, that's like completely sealing off anything. It's comedogenic, meaning it clogs your pores. So you'd be completely sealing off your face and then putting moisturizer on top of it, right? It's not. Yeah. It's not going in at all.
It's not actually absorbing.
Exactly.
Because the moisturizer.
Whereas, like the serum that I gave you, that's an essential oil with jojoba oil blend. Okay, that is more of like a serum. It's the purpose of it is to get the essential oils into your skin, right? Like it's treatment based. So she would put that on before her moisturizer because the moisturizer again is going to seal it all in. So, but for you, when you do the water oil before your makeup, it's because you're kind of like adding it as like a skin prep sort of option,
well,
right?
Oftentimes too, like you shower, cleanse, do all your stuff right out of the shower,
and then maybe it's
and then I'll like go get ready, like put on clothes, maybe do my hair, and so then by the time I'm actually putting on my makeup,
it's a little bit later.
Then it's a little bit later, so then maybe at that point,
I
would do water oil first, and then my foundation, just to like make sure I get that.
Yeah, that's just for
so
it's
dry.
purely for moisture at that point, not for like the topical, like the healing benefits or the healing qualities. I'm going to say this because that is specifically because Chelsea is very, very dry, so not everybody can do that.
I'm gonna be wrinkly. All right, next question. Oh wow, we're moving right along. Okay,
moving along.
I remember when we saw this and I was like, I'm gonna ask that question on the video. What is an AHA? And I was gonna guess.
What do you think?
And I was gonna say, well, okay. I think it's a aesthetically healthy.
Just so bad. Just so bad.
I think it has to do with hyaluronic acid. Because HA's,
well,
actual hyaluronic acid.
No, we do say HA for hyaluronic acid a lot of times. However, when you hear the term AHA, what it refers to is alpha hydroxy acids.
Not even close.
So we have AHAs and we have BHAs, beta hydroxy acids.
Okay.
AHAs are things like lactic acid, glycolic acid. There's so many, honestly, malic acid, a lot of them, okay? How AHAs work, let's say, okay? If you think of your skin cells like bricks, let's say the mortar, sort of the cement that holds them together, right, is called the extracellular matrix, okay, in your skin. It's like the glue that holds all your skin cells together, okay? AHAs, like lactic acid and glycolic acid, they loosen the extracellular matrix to help you to be able to kind of like slough away the dead skin cells. Whereas BHAs, which would be salicylic acid is a BHA, a beta hydroxy acid.
Okay.
Salicylic acid, BHAs, actually exfoliate into the follicles, the pores. Okay, so that's why we use salicylic acid for acne a lot, because it's actually exfoliating, it's actually like cleaning out inside the follicles, which AHAs do not do.
Oh. Wow. This is very informative. What is the best skincare line?
Oh my gosh, there's no answer for that. That's a really complicated question. I mean,
but I understand why people would ask that.
Yeah, I get it, like why it's Googled a lot, because I mean, really you're just looking for reviews, right, at that point when you're Googling something like that, but it's so subjective, like, and it just depends on what you need. There's a ton of amazing skincare lines out there for sure that are really high quality, really fantastic. It's really difficult. So I use a skincare line in spa called Dermastetics Beverly Hills. I was lucky enough to be able to use them in school, so I learned a lot about them and loved the company and loved the products. It really just depends. It depends on what you're looking for. If there's specific things you need, sometimes there's a line that's more specified towards that. For me, I'm all about like the quality of the product, the integrity of the product, and the integrity of the company. That's a big thing for me. So that's something I look for.
Okay. How do I get rid of acne?
Yeah, that's a really broad question. It totally depends on what your acne is from, right? I mean, like, there are so many different reasons why people have acne. It might be hormonal. It's almost always internal, in my opinion, versus like whether it's coming from the gut or hormones or both. So the very general answers, right, would be like, use proper skincare for whatever you need. Be treating it. Seeing an esthetician, always helpful. I would say see an esthetician before you see a dermatologist.
What?
Shout out.
Oh.
But other than that too, proper diet, making sure you're balancing your gut is huge, gut and hormones. So things like, cutting out carbs, sugar, even dairy, sometimes things that are inflammatory is helpful. And then doing things that can balance your gut, so really good probiotics, things like apple cider vinegar. There's this new thing that I'm super excited about, which is called Viome. It's a company, Viome. where you can get a test basically to like map out your entire gut biome, which is amazing. So you can see if there's things you're sensitive to, things you're allergic to that you didn't even know. It's really, really cool. So I think for my clients that are dealing with acne, that's a huge thing I would point them towards to, you know, help figure out what's going on.
Especially if you've been doing, especially if you have a good skincare regimen.
Or you're trying all these things.
Trying all these things and it's still not working. Like, find out what's going on internally.
And sometimes acne is difficult. Like it is not going to go away quickly for some people. You know, for some people, they come to see me and like 2 months later, it's almost clear. And that's great. That means that their acne was all based on, you know, improper care and just really easy things that were easy to fix cosmetically speaking. But for a lot of people, it's going to take months and months, maybe a year, maybe more, you know, depending on what's going on in your body. That it takes a long time, right? I always say, like, you didn't develop it overnight. It's not going to go away overnight. So just be patient, I would say, too. And yeah, do all those things.
Yeah, that makes sense.